What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Black and Nerdy Tabletop. I'm your host, Zephyrnix, and today we are taking a look at the Pathfinder Second Edition Beginner's Box here. Now, I'm very happy to go ahead and get this one. I've been wanting to get it for a while just to kind of add it to my collection. And what happened was I noticed that at the time that I found it, I was ready to get it, the remastered versions came out. So I heard that they were going to do a remastered version later. So I figured I'd wait. And finally, I found a remastered version. And I wanted to go ahead and unbox it for you guys to see what's in here right now. So let's go ahead and take a look. So first and foremost, the box is relatively heavy. I was kind of surprised at how heavy it actually was. I was expecting it to be, I don't know what I was expecting it to be. So if I'm being honest with you. So here's everything that's in the box right now. First and foremost, we got dice. Notice that each dice is color coded. Later on, you'll see that the colors will represent the actual some of the rules inside of Pathfinder, where it makes it easier to know which dice is which by going ahead and kind of, each color is represented as something different. So the red is represented as a D20, the D6 is represented as 20, etc., etc. D4 is yellow. So here are stands. We'll talk about this later. We'll go ahead and move on from there, and I'll explain what the stands are for. Right here are actual player reference cards. So these are actually pretty interesting because what this has right here is on two sides. So on the back side, it actually has multiple conditions that you'll actually go ahead and go over. So concealment, frightened, prone, restrained, things of that nature. On the actual front of it, this actually uses tokens that actually come with the game. We'll talk about the tokens later. And what you can do is you can actually keep track of how many turns that you have. So for example, you can go ahead every turn. You go ahead and add 3 tokens and a reaction. And as you use the tokens, you can actually remove them, allowing you to go ahead and keep track of them. At the same time, it also gives you a couple other things too, such as little actions that you can do, such as interact, leap, stand, step, stride, and strike. And it also tells you how many action points that is actually required in order to go ahead and do it. So these are really good ways to kind of remember the basics, albeit smaller basics, because there's a lot more than just this that you can do. But this is really good for kind of a basic kind of thing here. At the very after you get all that, you have to read this first. So this one says pretty much different things here. Pathfinder is a cooperative tabletop role-playing game, also called an RPG of fantasy adventure. Grab some friends to play the heroes in an adventuring party. You guys, excuse me, I don't have my reading glasses on. I forgot to actually bring them home. It's dumb on me. Go on a quest, explore mysterious environments, battle dangerous monsters, find treasure, and tell a story together. So I want to be very clear about what this actually is. A lot of people see both Pathfinder and Tabletop as a I gotta win adventure. It is not. It's about telling a story. If that story ends in your death, or the death of a character rather, then that's okay. It's a story, so just let you know. Anyway, moving on here. So you also have, if you're on your own, Pathfinder designed for a group play, but this box includes a solo adventure that you can play on your own. Open the Hero's Handbook to page 2 to play Pirate King's Plunder, which will teach you the basics of the game. I actually want to go ahead and take a look at that. I won't be doing it today, but I definitely want to go ahead in the future and take a look at that. If you have a group, every group needs a game master to read the rules, to read and run the adventure. Pick one player to be the game master, and the rest of the players will play fantasy heroes, as well as tells you the heroes that it actually comes with here. So you already know the typical heroes. You got Kira right here. You got Ezrin right there. You got Valor's right there. So really good right here. On the back of it tells pretty much everything that comes in the book right here. So we no need to look at this because we definitely will be looking at everything that comes in the box. Not the book, the box. Right here is actually the Beginner's Box Hero's Handbook. This was a handbook that they were mentioning before. The one thing about this is they do not skip on art and things of that nature. So plenty of different things that you can actually look at. We're not going to go too deep into it, but we definitely have a lot going on here. So plenty of art, talks about backgrounds, talking about ancestries, as well as the classes and things of that nature, including characters. So this is actually the character for the wizard. as represented by Ezrin, of course, because Ezrin, Kira, and those 4 characters that you saw, these are called the iconics. And what it's done here is Kira and Varen, I think his name is. And what they've actually done here is the actual iconics are designed to go ahead and kind of represent different classes and ancestries in the game. So, for example, if you're looking to go ahead and see what a human is, you might want to look at Varos, or you might want to look at Ezrin. That's the wizard. To me, that's the fighter and the wizard, respectively. But at the same time, they're actually from different parts of Glorian, which is the Pathfinder universe. So it gives you not just difference in ancestry, but heritage as well. So right here is actually the Beginner's Box Game Master Guide, which gives you plenty of information here on how to be a game master, as well as how to run games of your own in general. So I'm not going to look too deep into this because that would require me to kind of give up a lot of information here on different missions and whatnot. But if you're interested in becoming a game master, that's the book that you may want to read. So right here also comes with these particular books here. So what these are little pamphlets, less than a page, or rather 2 pages. But this one is part of the, this one shows the iconics. So as you see here, here's Kira right here, the cleric. So you can go ahead and see, kind of have a description right here. Play a cleric if you want to support and heal your allies with divine spells, know about religious writings and images, and oppose and destroy evil undead creatures. So if you go ahead and take a look here, it'll actually give you a bunch of Kira's character sheet and whatnot. You can actually copy these on other character sheets, which we'll go ahead and show a little bit later. And then on the right hand side, it'll go ahead and give you all the breakdown of the character sheet here, as well as kind of use the representation of Kira to go ahead and answer the questions. For example, if you look at class right here, it'll say you're a cleric of Sarenrae, which gives you spells and abilities listed here. And then over here, you get some of your cantrips that you get, and all the other spells are located in the actual player's handbook, I believe it is. And of course, naturally here, this one will give you some information about Kira. So these are actually really, really good booklets here. And I mentioned Kira, but it also has some on other people too. So for example, here's one on Varos. So as you see right here, the fighter Varos, he represents the fighter, and it gives all the information on how to play a fighter. So you can actually play as Varos, or you can go ahead and create your own character. Same thing for the record, the rogue. The rogue has one too. So if you're interested in playing a rogue, you can have that. Or you also have Ezrin. So Ezrin right here is actually a wizard, and it actually go ahead and gives more information on Ezrin the wizard. So as you see down there, some cantrips, including Daze, Detect Magic, Gouging Claw, Light, and Telekinetic Projectile. So really, really, it doesn't break down the character too much, but what it does do is it kind of use them as an example in order to go ahead and play. So that's really good. I really enjoy that. You got plenty of different character sheets right here. So if you ever want to go and fill them out, what I advise you to do is, if you do get these, go ahead and just laminate them. In fact, I do plan to do that myself. I'm going to go and laminate, make some copies and then laminate them, so that way I can go ahead and not only keep track of them and go ahead and keep them clean, but I can also go ahead and just use a marker just to go ahead and use it over and over again. This is actually made of cardboard here. This is actually a map. So you can actually break this wide open, and I'm not actually going to do it here because I don't have enough room, but it's actually the map for the original adventure in the game here. So see if I can, can't really show that, but the map is actually two-sided as well. So once again, I can't really show it because there's not enough room. The map is huge, but just know it's a map. Now, another thing Another thing that I really like is these. So it's funny that I got this because I was just talking to my brothers about getting these. And these are like kind of like, instead of getting the actual plastic figures, I can just go ahead and use some of these. So, and these are a lot cheaper and yet really good quality, especially when you're looking at the art and whatnot. So you got these. So as you see right here, here's some goblins right here that you can go ahead and use as enemies. And at the very top, if you look here, you actually have those tokens. So remember the reference cards and where I said you can use these tokens to keep track of stuff? That's exactly what I mean. So as you see right here, you can easily keep track of everything in here. And the best part is that it actually comes with plenty of stuff here. So it actually comes with different versions of the same class. So you have right here cleric, but you may look around and you may see another version of the cleric right here. So and then plenty of monsters to choose from. And also remember, I told you about these, which are little pegs right here to go ahead and allow the characters to stand up. And it also has one big peg here. So I haven't seen any big monsters, but I'm suspecting that I just kind of missed it. Oh, looks like we got one right there. Ref Claw. Yeah, Ref Claw. So, and here's another big one. This looks like an ogre named Ogre Warrior, because, you know, apparently their mama was not smart enough to name him anything else. So, and last but not least, the adventure continues. So letting you know other things that you can go ahead and get to go ahead and continue the adventure, which is actually a really good buy right there. So, or rather, excuse me, a really good intro. So you know exactly where to go next. So overall, that's my thoughts on everything that came in the box, the adventure, the beginner's box, as well as my thoughts in general on what comes in on, you know, the Pathfinder beginner box. I'm sorry, I'm looking outside the window as well. But I got to say, I'm really enjoying what comes in the box here. Everything here is really good for anyone who is looking to get into Pathfinder and to go ahead and just kind of get started playing. I think that Paizo has done a fantastic job. And with the release of Starfinder that just came out recently, I'm definitely looking forward to going ahead and unboxing the Starfinder Second Edition beginner's box as well. So anyway, that's to wrap up this video. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, do all those great things that you do on YouTube videos. And you guys have a good night. I'm out.